OWASP is a nonprofit that stands for the Open Web Application Security Project. DevSlop is only one of many projects with OWASP. OWASP is a community of developers, technologists, and evangelists improving the security of software through tools and resources. OWASP has 100+ active projects, and new project applications are submitted weekly. Projects are open source and are built by our community of volunteers, people just like you. Community and networking. There are hundreds of local chapters worldwide and thousands of members. Meetings are free and open to everyone. They include training, talks, and networking opportunities. Education and training. OWASP hosts many events each year. They are a great way to improve your skills, build your professional network, and learn about new trends in the industry. One of the many ways you can get involved is to become a member. The membership benefits include discounts for events and trainings, your own OWASP email address and Google Workspace access, a vote in our OWASP Global Board elections. And recently, OWASP added a brand new member benefit, access to hands-on application security training through the OWASP Secure Flag Open Platform. Join us and become a member today.
All right, welcome everyone to the DevSlop Game Day. We're really glad that you can make it to the event, and we hope you have fun today. Now, last December, we did a game day on Docker, and to continue our journey in the containers world, today we're gonna learn tons about Kubernetes. If you've never heard of Kubernetes, if you have never like had a chance to learn Kubernetes and play around with it, today's the day. So before I go over what the challenge is and what you're going to be building, let me introduce you to our co-hosts today. So Faith and Stefania, are you around? Hey, Faith.
Yay! Hey.
Hey, Stefania. How's it going? And also Nancy.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Exciting
hello.
day, finally.
Definitely.
D-Day. Awesome. Hi, everyone in the
So
chat.
Nancy, why don't you tell us about sponsors, the prizes, and all that good stuff?
Yes, all that good stuff. I could talk for hours, but I'll try to stay very short to talk about it quickly. I want to talk about three things. I want to talk about Discord. I want to talk about the tracks, because you may have heard there's a learning and a competitive track. And I want to talk about the prizes. So let's start with Discord. So I'm sharing my screen here. By now, I think most people are familiar. We've been opening Discord for the last 10 days, making sure everybody was, in their teams and knew what it was about. Basically, you have a game day category. Right now, we've restricted this area only for people who are registered. So you can see the announcement, frequently asked questions that we will build throughout the day and throughout the weekend, and the general chat where you can ask questions and ask for things that would be beneficial for everybody. We won't have giveaways. Giveaways were before, during the weeks before we started. But what I really want to talk about today is the ticketing system. So that is the main and only way, I would say, to contact us, because there's too many teams, too many channels for us to keep track if you tag us. So if you really want our attention, you would have to use the ticketing system. So there are three categories of tickets. Administration, that's mainly me. Anything with CTFD, anything with I don't see a channel, or anything administrative. Open a ticket that is admin with the question mark. If it's concerning the challenge, during the competitive track, we won't be giving any answers. But if you think something is wrong, something is not clear, you want a clarification, the challenge ticket is what you want to use. We know that because you're using your own environment sometimes, or CloudNow, that you may have questions about tools, about your tools. So we also have a category for tool support. But I want to be precise that if we have multiple tickets, tool support will be the last one we go to, right? We will prioritize with administration and challenge questions for people to move forward. But if you have questions about your tools, we will get to them, but it won't be our priority. So that's the first one. Then let me stop sharing my screen here and share.
Nancy?
Yes.
I have a question.
Go
How
ahead.
do I create a ticket?
How do you create a ticket? So let me share again my screen. Like I was saying, you can react. The only thing you can do here is react to a ticket. So if you want to create an administration ticket, you'll click on the, let me do it actually. You click on question mark. So because it's here and I don't have the rights, I'm in another mode, so I can't. But you click on a reaction ticket, it will open a ticket that is only accessible between you and the administrator. So nobody else can see what's in your ticket. It's really a private channel between you and administrator. Will reply, and most of the time we'll try maybe to come and visit you within your channel, right? Like, so it's a bit of a tracking system for us for who opened tickets first, because they are numbered, right? So we'll go in order.
Thank you.
So the same for the others. Okay, so I'll go to the second part right here. Stop share this screen. Okay, so a bit of the schedule. So today we're here, it's Saturday, it's the opening briefing. We're telling you how the challenge will work. Half an hour by 12:30, the challenge unlocks. So we want to make sure that we're done. And on Sunday, we will release the challenge solution. So that's the end of the competitive track. So the competitive track, everybody starts with it, right? Everybody starts on the competitive track, and the first three teams that finish the challenge, get the first, second, and third place with the prizes here. So $800, so $200 per player. second place and third place for the competitive track. So competitive is about speeds. It's about completing the challenge as fast as possible. But we know some people are very new to the learning to Kubernetes, and the point is not for you to get stressed and to compete necessarily, but we want you to learn. So that's why we also introduce, based on feedback from last time, a learning track where you get more time and support to compete, to finish the challenge, right? So the learning track starts when the competitive track ends, so at 4 a.m. The learning track can start earlier, because we also have 7 first solves. The challenge is divided into 8 categories. The first one is an introduction, but for the 7 other categories, for each team that solves it first, there is a prize, a first solve prize that is sponsored by Hack the Box. You can only win once. A team can only win once. So again, the competitive track starts today at 12:30, finishes at 4 a.m. on Sunday, unless the 7 first solves are completed before 4 a.m. So whatever comes first. And then the learning track starts. We will release solutions to the challenge. So you'll have support from us and also video walkthroughs of what is going on. And finally, but not least, our sponsors and the prizes. Thank you so much to 3 main sponsors here. Hack the Box, KokeKloud, and Linux Academy are all contributed to our prize pool. And they were very generous. So you'll get to pick between membership to all of these services, to Hack the Box and KokeKloud. And the Linux Academy gave us also some vouchers that you can use for vouchers and training. So a bundle for CKA, CKD, or CKS, the security certification. So a lot of prizes in our pool. And the learning track, the 3, it's more of a raffle than a competition. So the first 3 place are raffled between all the teams that actually finished the challenge. Even if it took them more time, whatever team finishes the challenge gets to be in the pool, in the raffle for the first 3 places. And whoever comes first gets the first choice to the pool of prizes. Anyways, I hope that was clear. That's why I didn't want to talk too much about it, because I could go on forever. So I'll let Renan tell you all about how the challenge actually works and how to get started.
Perfect. Yeah, so let's bring up my screen so I can show the challenge. All right, so basically this is the platform that you're going to be using, and the same platform that we used last event. So basically in the beginning, you're going to see the first one is the introduction, right? So you're not going to see access in the cluster yet. You're going to see an introduction. So you click on the task, and then you're going to see the description of the task. So let's start with the introduction, so you know what's going to happen today. So in the CTF, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be deploying a to-do application, which is comprised of 6 microservices and to a Kubernetes cluster running on our AWS account. The final solution is basically broken down into multiple tasks. And then at the end of each task, if you execute all of the steps correctly, you're going to be awarded points. Now, in terms of the rules, before we go into the solution itself, there is a restriction that we put in our cluster that you cannot deploy more than 8 pods. If you deploy more than 8 pods and that compromise the quality of the event, the team might be disqualified. So please bear that in mind. And also, do not disrespect any of your teammates. We have a 0 tolerance policy here for any sort of harassment. And do treat each other with kindness and respect. So Kubernetes is a very complex system. And if you see your teammates struggling, just leave the competition aside and then help your teammate, right? And lastly, just do have fun, right? Because that's what we're here for. Okay,
Yes.
let's go with
Can I add something,
Yeah,
Renan?
sure.
Please make sure to reach out to us quickly. If anything happens, if you're not comfortable about anything, please reach out and let us know what is going on. Because if we get feedback about that after the event, we can't do anything about it. However, if you tell us right away, we will intervene. So we really want people to feel comfortable and safe, and that's our priority. The competition and the gamification of it all is just to have fun, and this is supposed to be a fun event. And if it's not fun to you for any type of reason, please let us know, because we want to fix that. Okay, I'm done.
Exactly. Awesome. Okay, so in terms of the architecture, and this represents the solution at the end of the challenge. So we have our Kubernetes cluster running on a AWS account. And you see that because everyone is going to be using the same cluster, we created namespaces for each one of you. If you don't know what a namespace means, don't worry. It's going to be explained throughout the challenge. But basically, each team, you're going to have your own namespace, and that's the only place that you can deploy the solution. There is a Nginx server running in our cluster, it's going to be pretty much one for everyone. So you're not going to have to worry about deploying Nginx. That's already being taken care of for you. You're only going to focus on the bottom box, which contains 6 microservices. And you see that we're going to be referring to Redis, which is this little red icon on the top left corner, as a microservice, just for simplicity's sake. But the solution is basically a front-end component that has a UI. And then this front-end, you can log in with the user. And to log in with the user, that requires 2 other components, which is the auth API and the users API. Once you log in on the UI, you're going to see a list of to-dos items, and that's being served by the to-dos API. So right now, we already have 4 components. Now, the fifth and the sixth components, we have Redis. That's where the to-do items are being stored, and that's where the to-dos API gets those items from to return to the front end. And then lastly, there is a component called log message processor, which basically just gets events from Redis and prints on the screen. It doesn't really do anything for the entire application, but this is just an addition to the solution. If you're wondering how this looks like, I have it right here. So this is a very simplistic to-do app that has a field for username and password, and it's going to be exactly what you see that. So it's going to be John D for the username and Fu for the password. And once you log in, you're going to be able to see the to-do app. You can delete, you can add new things. Right, so it is a functional app, but there's a lot going on in this challenge, and this is just so you can learn a lot of the concepts in Kubernetes. There's even a logout button here at the top that brings you back to the previous page. Now, in terms of how we're gonna evaluate if you finished the task correctly or not, so for each one of the tasks, we're gonna have something that's called capture the flag. That's why this event is called CTF, and it's basically once you go through all of the steps and you execute those steps correctly, there's going to be a secret that you're going to have to obtain. And that's what we're referring to the flag. So that's why it's capture the flag. And then every time you capture a flag, you're going to have to submit it at the very bottom. The format of the flag will always be, so let me just copy this. It's always going to be DevSlop CTF and then the curly brackets and then the flag here in the middle. So whatever you get as a flag, you're going to put here in the middle and submit the entire thing. Note that this is case sensitive. So if you type in DevSlop like that with lowercase d, it's not going to work. So this is case sensitive. And then once you're done, you just submit the flag. And if it's correct, it's going to unlock the next task. And that's why you see accessing the cluster here. So I'm just going to go into this one. So this one is basically giving you access to our account in our cluster. So there's going to be steps to show you how to log into our AWS account. And if you choose to use Cloud9, there's also instructions to configure Cloud9. If you're using Cloud9, one thing that I wanted to point here, which is very important, is in the interface, there's going to be this little Cloud9 icon on the top left. And then that's going to take you to preferences. And then in the preferences pages, you're going to see AWS settings. So when you click on AWS settings, you're going to see AWS manage temporary credentials. This is going to be activated by default. So you need to activate. So make sure it's red. And the reason why you need to do that is because you're going to have your own credentials and you're going to configure Cloud9 with your own credentials. So you don't need AWS manage temporary credentials. Then another thing as well is for those who like autosave in your IDE and you want to reproduce the same thing in Cloud9, there is a way to do that. And here are pretty much all the steps they need to follow to enable autosave. And then from here on is basically just showing you how to install the kubectl for Cloud9 users. In Cloud9, there is already AWS CLI and Docker. You just need kubectl. And then for those who are using your local machine and also Cloud9 users, those steps are going to show you how to configure your AWS CLI with that information that we sent on Discord earlier this morning. All right, so this is basically what it is. And then here at the bottom, there is the repository that contains the code for all of those components. So make sure you clone that to your local machine or to Cloud9. And then from here on, the challenge will start. That's pretty much it, yeah. Any questions from anyone?
Let me remove that. Go ahead, Faith.
Yeah, I'm a newbie. Okay. First question, Renan. I've never used AWS. Am I at a disadvantage?
So basically, Cloud9 is an IDE with a terminal. So you don't need to know in depth all the AWS services. The only thing you need to know is how to configure the CLI, which is actually covered by the instructions. So yeah, so no, don't worry, you're not gonna have to deploy AWS services. So you're not gonna be in disadvantage.
Okay. My second question to you is, I am a complete newbie in Kubernetes. Am I disadvantaged?
Yeah, so basically this event, we're going to cover all of the basic concepts. Of course, that when you think about the competition aspect, that might be the case, but really, I know that there are a lot of people that they're here purely for learning purposes, and we're going to be here to support everyone and explain concept if that needs to be. So yeah, so don't worry about too much. Like I said, we're going to go over all of the basics, and we're going to be here to help you as well.
Okay, and my last question is, sorry, Nancy, my last question is, we gave an option for Cloud9 versus local machine. Do we have a preference?
No, that's entirely up to you. The only thing is that Cloud9 is a solution that it has some glitches that we found out last event, and sometimes I work with Cloud9 and things sometimes don't work as expected. So some people gave us the feedback last time that they prefer to use their local machine because it's a little bit more reliable in terms of the terminal and also their own IDE that they feel comfortable. So that's entirely up to you. If you don't have your local machine set up, feel free to use Cloud9. But if you have all of the tools already in your machine, then feel free to use your own machine.
Thank you.
What about advanced users? Are they wasting their time today? What's going on?
No, I wouldn't say they were wasting their time. I mean, this is going to cover not only basic concepts but also more advanced concepts. Of course, that I guess for those people who have been working with Kubernetes for 4 or 5 years or something like that, it might be on the on the basic side, but I still think they're going to have loads of fun anyways.
Just to add, I was going to say, for the beginners, I had never used Kubernetes before 2 weeks ago. So going through the content, there's loads of links. Like, I've learned a lot. And so anyone who's out there who might be a newbie, don't worry. We've got you covered either via the content or via kind of our team.
Yep, totally agree.
Yeah, I guess, yes, you folks went through the challenge you'll be there in support. When you open a ticket, that's who's behind the scene, right? Be between Renan, myself, Faith, and Stefania. A bit later on, we'll have Nikki with us for coverage of different time zones. I think today I will need to confirm about 5, but please keep looking in general in announcement and in the frequently asked questions. As we get questions, we'll update that to make sure that you have all that information. And if you have questions as well, if it's general, you can use the general channel or open a ticket, as we said. So I don't know if I just wanted to correct, because that's really important. It's not the Linux Academy, it's Linux Foundation that gave us prizes. So the prize pools for the learning track will be from the Linux Foundation, Hack the Box, and KokeKloud. And I really want to correct that. I apologize because that's super important. That's really how we can get these events going. They were really nice when we approached them and very quick to say yes for the cause. So please let them know. Let them know that you had a good time at this event and that you are grateful, as we are, for the prizes that they provide us for us.
Yeah,
awesome.
And there is one more question that I saw there. If people can register as a learner.
We are pretty much full. There is some capacity for people that are trickling in, but because teams are already formed, it's a bit hard to bring you in at the last minute. So I would say that registration is closed right now. A few exceptions for people that were already in contact with us, but if you're completely new, this event is not open anymore. Apologies.
Yeah, and also for those who registered, there's no distinction about registering as for the competition or for the learning track. And as Nancy mentioned, the learning track starts automatically after the competition is done.
Exactly. And whichever comes first, the 7th first solves, or 4 a.m. Eastern time. And the video will be released and we'll provide information. We did require that everybody joins Discord. That's really our official and only communication tool for everything else. Yes, if Discord is not working well for you, you're not comfortable with it, it's not your favorite tool, for your team, you feel free to use any other conference tool like Zoom, Google Meet, whatever you want. However, when we want to reach you, when you're asking for support, when you're communicating with us, it's definitely with Discord, over Discord. So that is a requirement. Any other questions?
No questions, but I had something to add. So basically, someone asked if after the event they would have access to the content, and yes, so we're gonna put all of the content in the repo and on GitHub, and we're gonna send the link later. And for those who are doing the event, that's gonna be the same repo that you're gonna be cloning to do the challenge. So everything is gonna be there.
Okay, fantastic. So I think that's it. It's 12:22 on my clock, so that's 8 minutes until the challenge unlocks. We'll let you get comfortable, talk with your team, test your voice channel. We've asked people to test their text channel, but mainly their voice channel. Make sure they can share their screen, collaborate, because it's really a collaboration type of event. Make sure that you talk to your teammates. Don't do things on your own without talking to them. And again, I repeat, if there are any issues and you want us to intervene, please do not hesitate, because that's what we're here for. Yeah. Should we call it the end and meet you in Discord?
Yep, I think that's it. We'll give people some time to have a quick break, and then we'll start in 7 minutes.
Awesome. See you soon.
Woohoo!